Hello, today we're here with Peter Bourne on Meet the Media. How are you, Peter?
I'm in good form. Thank you very much. Friday afternoon. It won't be long before a glass of wine.
Oh, perfect. So tell me, that's a good segue. Peter, how have you been holding up throughout all this craziness at the moment?
Oh, really good. I spend a lot of my time travelling to and from home in Orange, spending 2 or 3 nights a week in Sydney and then jumping around the country or the world if I'm lucky enough to. But of course, it's been home, 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 home. So the cellar's much tidier. I've done a lot of cooking and really holding the fort down.
Oh, well done. So seeing as we're in your home right now, please share with us something you probably wouldn't show people normally.
Oh, if you just move, there we are, we can see now. They're three little pieces by a local artist, Tim Winters. He's an Englishman about my age, but been in Australia for 40 plus years. And he went on one of the Edo walks in Japan and was very much inspired by that. And you really can't see at this distance, but there's a lot of cane and there's some small flag-like fragments of fabric, different colours, very pastel sort of colours, very delicate. And then in the other room, I've actually got a screen which looks like a sail, which sort of is a part of the same series. So he's a very versatile artist. And I have to say, one of the joys of living in Orange is the community, including the artistic community around here. I've lived here for 15 years now, having been a refugee from the big city of Sydney.
That's fantastic. Did you have them framed, or did they come framed?
And they came framed. Well, actually, this is one of the nice things of our business is that sometimes there are some excess wines around. So we have a wine for art deal. Things that he doesn't necessarily need can hang on my wall for a little while till he needs them back for a show or something. So,
Oh, I like that deal. But that's a great deal. So tell me, Peter, are you still receiving samples? And if you are, how do you prefer to receive them?
Well, that's one of the great questions because there are some wineries that are so enthusiastic they just send wine. I've moved locations 2 or 3 times within Sydney over the last decade, and that means there's always a lag and samples keep turning up or going astray. What I really love is when wine companies send me an email and say, would you like to receive some samples? And if so, where should they go? And most people are really good with that. But I think one of the things that's come out of this, I still get my samples sent to Wine Arc in Sydney. I find it much more convenient. They're stored there until I can pick them up. But I've really found that people have been sending me many, many more press releases. And I've had the time perhaps to then have a look and go back and say, look, can you send me a bottle of this or that? I really like it when I can have a conversation with a winery, with a winemaker, and not just send me a whole box of wines, just say, here, have a look at these sort of things, but say, okay, let's have a little look at some of your top wines, or let's just look at the Chardonnay selection now or something like that. So one of the real advantages of the lockdown is a bit more time to read press release and do that sort of communication, which often, in the rush to deadlines and the stampede that goes with it have been overlooked in the past.
So tell me about the press releases. What makes a really great press release?
A story. I think that one of the big things that, as from a wine writer's point of view, and please remember, I do writing, but I do an awful lot of face-to-face, both in terms of for the industry, and for consumers, but also in the corporate world. So I have quite a few opportunities where I'm sitting in boardrooms, speaking at conferences. They all want to know about the stories. I mean, in the end, the quality of wine that is out there is so consistent, so reliable. It is the stories that set things apart. And I really lap those up. And certainly the people I talk to enjoy the same viewpoint.
Great advice. So tell us, Peter, there's a lot more wineries jumping online, probably for the same reason you are. They're not travelling or doing all the work that they perhaps once were doing. What's the best thing you've seen online of late?
Oh, well, those Swift boys here from Prithvi are really good, Ed and Dave. And they've been doing a series which I've really, really enjoyed. They're very laid back and personable, you know, real dudes. And, you know, that's really wonderful. And I didn't go online, but I noticed that Hugh and Hook was doing a Hill of Grace tasting last night, and a few of my friends had lined up for that. In fact, I was talking to Philip Shaw, and he'd gone out and procured himself a bottle of 2015 Hill of Grace, all set for that tasting. So I think we're evolved and doing things in many ways. And I've certainly talked in the corporate world about doing virtual tastings where clients would be sent a little pack of wines, you know, 4 half bottles, maybe 2 Chardonnays, 2 Pinots, something like that. And then working with me, reviewing the wines, talking about. But once again, it's all about the stories, as I said before.
Fantastic. So what's your message at the moment, Peter, to wineries out there?
Hang in there, I think. I mean, really, you think of drought, the smoke issues that have impacted, and then obviously the coronavirus. It's really a good time to assess, you know, look at quality, spend that extra time, but certainly get out there and talk to the media, talk to consumers. Certainly the offers that are coming through look fantastic, and we'll survive all of this. Things are looking better. June 1's around the corner. Here in New South Wales, things are opening up. So we'll get through this, but we'll be a very, very different industry. And I think those that have built their websites, built their databases, will be well positioned to move on to 2021. I think that's going to be a great year.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your time today, Peter. It's been wonderful chatting with you, and we wish you every success and all the best.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.